Woo, woo. It's the Bad Wolf Show. Are you guys ready to go? Oh, y'all didn't even know I was going to jump on this Monday night. Yeah, well, me neither. But let's get going. All right, let's play the cue down, give people a couple seconds to get in here. But we're going to make it do what it do. So go ahead and cue my tune. What's going on, guys? Ladies, gentlemen, it is the Bad Wolf. Once again, your most gracious, humble host. And if this is your first time here, hit that bell, like, subscribe, and welcome to the motherfucking tribe. We're about to get into it. Now, I want to thank everybody out there who has supported me. We're at about 85,000 subscribers. The numbers are looking good. So I thank you guys for each and every like, subscribe, comment. I've tried to have the comment sections open a little bit more now. So once again, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. I thank you. My family thanks you. Thank you guys. Now, this particular live is not one of my normal ones because as you read the title, glitter. All right, so generally this is something that will be on my other YouTube channel, which will be Bad Wolf Unlimited, all right, where I talk about everything. But the way my mind works, and a lot of you guys, I guess, appreciate me or respect me for how it works, I stumbled across this video on YouTube, and it was talking about the glitter conspiracy. Now, I'll have the comment section open, so of course we can talk about a little bit of other things. I'm not going to be on terribly late tonight. I do have some other things I have to get to. But glitter, what? Why is that even a thing? Let me explain. So this YouTube video pops up, and these guys, and I send credit and a shout out to Chuppel, Chuppl on YouTube. And this person only has like 12 videos, but they have almost 500,000 subscribers. So they pack a hard punch when it comes to information. And as I found, they do their research like I do, very nerdy, but they're also more hands on the materials and boots on the ground, right? So as I'm watching their video on glitter, something I never thought twice about, but I love mysteries. I mean, that's why I got into learning about law and, you know, how to use it and how it moves and all that good stuff, right? And they were talking about how a reporter did a piece on glitter. Yeah, yes, glitter, just the normal little sprinkly stuff. And I highly suggest going over to Chuppel's YouTube channel and watching the whole video. Okay, so for some of you guys, this is going to be absolutely asinine and weird. But I wouldn't bring you guys something if it wasn't interesting to me, okay? So their whole video talks about the original founders of glitter and how there's edible kinds and there's, the regular kind and then what glitter is made out of, which is generally like a polyplastic propylene type material with aluminum, and some are edible and some are not, and there's different chemicals in it. Weird stuff. And if you guys don't know about this about me, I love weird stuff. I mean, some of these books, I've read you guys what I have in here. I study everything. I would not bring you this if it was not interesting. So bear with me. If you want to see the whole thing, once again, go over to Chuppel's YouTube, Chuppl, their YouTube channel, and all of their videos are fascinating. Okay. But especially the one on glitter. So anyway, let me get to it. All right. So apparently they can't figure out who is the biggest buyer. Now, once again, before I get started, because I know these people are going to be out here and they're going to watch my stuff. Everything I say here is education and entertainment purposes only. Any names that are used are satire, and they were generated by the AI. Okay. I'm not after anybody. I am not factually saying that this is exactly what they're doing. I just want to take you guys on a little trip on what I discovered, because glitter. So apparently nobody knows who, there's only like 2 companies basically in the United States or the world that really make glitter. And it started off being a request essentially for the military. So people go, oh, well, that makes sense. Military is probably the biggest supplier. And yes, some military people have confirmed that glitter is actually used in the form of what they call chaff, which is when they want to trick the radar or do certain experiments with the weather, or a missile is coming at, the bomber or the, a plane, and you want to deflect it. Okay. So they pop the missile out and just chaff, or right at the back of the plane, chaff comes out and it screws with the radar and the sensors. And so the rocket coming at them can't get a good heat trace, and it doesn't hit the plane. Okay. If you guys didn't know that, well, there's tons of things I know that, I haven't really gotten to, but anyway. So, okay. But not the receptionist, the news reporter said, well, who's your biggest supplier? And the lady at this place, I believe that there's like 2 companies. I think one's called Glitter X and the other one's called something else, right? She goes, I can't tell you that, and laughs. She laughs at the person. I would play some of their stuff, but some people on YouTube are very sensitive about their stuff, and I don't think Chuckle would have a problem with me. But I've had a couple of people say, "Oh, well, you use the clip of my this and blah blah blah," and I'm gonna do copyright infringement. So I try not to do that. So if you want to watch their video, go and watch their video. If they watch this, we can do something together. And I was going to give them what I found and just leave this story alone, because apparently you're talking about like this glitter conspiracy is across the board. I mean, it goes as far as the military, police things and usage, governmental usage, private contracts, all the stuff that I normally tell you guys about with the law stuff. So how did glitter get involved? I'll give you the short version once again. So this guy, I believe he was from Germany or somewhere like that, comes over here. He gets a contract with the military. They said they need a specific product, and he happened to be working on something similar. And I believe it had to do with mica, and how mica, when you look at it, it reflects like glitter. Well, that's basically a type of glitter that they use, but the glitter started off as being a byproduct of another process. Who would have thought glitter had military applications and police applications and governmental agencies and private industry use that they don't talk about? Like, you can't even go on these people's property. There was a family member who was ousted from the board, who still has legal right to be there, and he was trying to help some younger reporters crack the glitter conspiracy code. And he was like, you're gonna have to put your camera down, but they kept it rolling underneath the footwell, so you could hear things. The lady comes out, you can't be here, they're not supposed to be here, who are they, we need their names. Like, holy, I thought getting a passport was difficult, even though you have a right to it because you're born as a national, something that they kind of obfuscate. But anyway, we'll talk about that in another video. So this guy was like, well, I can talk about what I do know, but he goes, even I don't know everything about all of the contracts and what they do and what's in all of the glitter that his family company runs. And mind you, the other people in there, some of them are still his family. And they're like, yeah, no. Basically, like, you talk too much. We can't have you knowing everything. So they outed him. So he goes back to his house and he's talking with these reporters, Chuppel and whatever else. Not the original reporter. She's since left the case. She's like, I'm done with it. So these 2 younger people, they're like, well, what do you know about it? So he's like, oh, well, they needed it for like a special project for like some things like making glitter type washers for NASA, and the military uses a shaft. And as they're going on, he eventually says, well, yeah, there are some things that people don't know that glitter is in. Now, we're just going to say that some of the chemicals in there I can't even find. And they won't list. Some of it's considered proprietary information, but yet it's in numerous things. So in the original reporter's report, the lady who works for the company, and I don't know if it was GlitterX, it might have been another company because I watched a lot of reports. I've been doing my homework on. They're trying to crack this code. I love cracking codes and mysteries and unsolved things all the time, right? And she goes, well, the one interviewer goes, well, would I know it is in there? And she goes, yeah. She goes, you would know it's in there. Okay. She goes, but you can't tell me who buys the most of it. She goes, no, absolutely not. She goes, they don't want the general public to know that glitter is in this particular product. So you mean that there's glitter in a product that we're using? Now, this shouldn't come as no surprise to you guys. I've told you guys about sucralose and aluminum and other things and bits and pieces of my videos. Like I said, this is more so for what I'm going to do on my other YouTube channel. So subscribe to Badwolf Unincorporated or the Badwolf Media channel on YouTube. All right, I'm going to talk more about that. I just have you guys here, and this channel is obviously bigger than my other baby channels. So I just want to kind of drive you guys over that way if you guys like this kind of stuff. If not, don't worry. This is not going to be my normal live things. I just want to show you guys that I do other things. All right. So the reporter goes, okay, well, but seriously, you can't tell me what product it's in. And she goes, well, you would probably know it's in there, but no, you wouldn't really know that it's glitter, the product. So, hey, John Harnick, and hey, Crystal Pistol. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, so far, I'm a little like, that is weird that there are contracts of a national security level for glitter, and that there are industries out there that are using glitter in some kind of product that those companies don't want us to know. So like I said, once again, before we get into it, disclaimer, I'm not saying that what I found through my own research and ChatGPT is 100% accurate. So we assume no responsibility. Everything is satire and hearsay conjecture. Okay. So that being stated, we're not stating anything as fact. I will let you guys decide. I am not for or against their products or services. I just want you guys to be a little. Thanks, John. Appreciate you, brother. I just want you guys to. Is glitter code for something? Confused. No, this is not a show on my normal law stuff, but because law does keep certain things from us, I'm making this show to basically show you guys once again that there are other deeper things out there that the government and companies are keeping from us. So it's not going, you're not going to be entertained. So if you're only looking for my normal legal and law stuff, then don't tune into this. This is not for everybody on my channel. This is only for people who are curious and want to see that how I learn and how I study things and how I then bring you guys things. Okay. So this may not be your cup of tea, 2007. All right. Just throwing it out there. Just, what's going on, Cash? Our world is not what you think. Exactly. So let me jump into it. So after my research, I was blown away at what I found. And I'm going to step you guys through it here. So bear with me. This is going to be my first time using the chat and on my live here. So I'm going to try to see how to blend this in, hopefully somewhat seamlessly. So give me one moment. Hopefully everybody's doing good out there. All right. So this might be a little bit of a longer video. For some of you guys, it might be a little bit boring. But I don't know. I just found all of this fascinating. Okay, let me get to my screen here. All right. Share screen. All right, here we go. All right. So let's get started. All right. So I said the question, or I said, who is the largest purchaser of glitter? Let's read through it. Now, if you guys don't hear it reading, let me know in the comments right away, because sometimes different programs don't share the audio. Okay, so if you guys heard that, chat is saying that they don't know who the largest supplier or provider or purchaser, excuse me, of glitter is. Like I said, I know this seems so simple and stupid, but some people consider what I teach you guys to be simple and stupid, about the passport and about taxes and how to be free and, blah, blah, blah. But it just goes to show, like Crystal said, the world is not what we think. There's deception in everything. And trust me, by the end of this, if you guys care about, God, I can't say that exactly without, all I'll say is, you guys make your own determination, but I wouldn't have brought you guys this if it wasn't interesting. Okay. So I'm going to pop back to that screen, and I'm going to let it keep reading. So can you guys hear it okay? Somebody in the chat, let me know if you guys heard the AI speaking before I go on, because I don't want it to continue to read if you guys can't hear it. So somebody in the chat, let me know if you guys can or cannot or did not hear it. Nigel says can't hear the AI. Okay, I'm going to try to play it one more time, and let's see let me know if you guys can hear. I'll turn it up too, just in case. Okay, let me know in the comments if you guys could hear that or no. Okay, nope, can't hear it. Still no audio. Okay. Mute screen audio, unmute. Yeah, sometimes it does that. I don't know why. Sharing the screen. Usually it's an audio setting. Okay, you know what? I'll just go through and I'll read it, because something is preventing it from playing and I don't want to waste your time. So, all right, I'll just jump over and share the screen with you guys. I'll just read it like I would be reading it myself. All right, so let's just do that. All right, so she goes, what we know for sure, glitter manufacturers maintain strict confidentiality about their largest suppliers. For example, employees at GlitterX, the U.S. largest supplier of glitter, refuse to reveal who buys the most glitter, with statements such as, you would never guess it. Like, what do you mean? We would never guess who buys glitter? And then they also said, she said, I absolutely know that I cannot disclose that information. It's glitter. What? Why is that a thing? Why can you not tell people? I mean, okay, maybe 20 years ago, glitter and chaff and military, I get it, but nowadays, like, that's in everything from like edible jelly to, I mean, even on the news, one of the former military guys said, oh yeah, glitter's in chaff. That's what chaff is, blah, blah. So, but as of right now and today, ChatGPT is like, it doesn't know. It can't find any trace of processed information on who buys glitter and where it goes. Now, I do know that some of it was leaked, that it goes into paint. And some of us have even seen it and didn't realize it. But like a lot of people, when you buy boats, it's in the boat paint. You can see it through the clear coat or whatever else, or in some cars. So we know it's in paint. Why would that have been a problem? Why would that have been something that they didn't even want to tell us either? I'll tell you why. Because there potentially could be environmental groups out there that say, hey, if glitter is a plastic and aluminum based product, we don't want it in boats because then you're potentially polluting rivers and lakes and fish and things of that nature. So I could see it. iStorm says it's in nail polish. Right. But we think of glitter as just, okay, it's in nail polish. Okay, like iStorm said. But here's my problem with how my brain thinks, and I could be wrong, but if glitter is in nail polish and you put the nail polish on, and of course we should all know that nail polish remover is not good for you, but what about the possible chemicals, potentially, hypothetically, and the aluminum that's in the nail polish? Could that be a problem? Annabelle says nail polish and makeup and some other powders for the body. Yes. So if that is true, then how do we know what chemical combinations that they're using to make the glitter? And then when they say this product contains glitter, but now we're not asking what chemicals are potentially being made up to create the glitter, and then that product then goes into this other product and they just label it as glitter. Do you see what I'm saying here? Or am I just, I don't know. Do you guys want me to keep going with this? Let me know in the comments, because I got like probably, I don't even know. There's a lot of information. I'm going to try to, it sucks that it's not reading it. You guys can't hear it because I really don't want to read through every single line. So I'm going to hit the big cliff notes here. All right. So let's get back to it. All right, let me jump back over to that screen. All right, so chat says popular theories and speculation, marine and boat paints. Okay, that makes sense. We talked about that. Military and I can't say the word because of YouTube, but you know, things that go kablooey. Okay, makes sense. Now this one I knew, but now that I know that most glitter is made with a number of different chemicals that may or may not be safe, hypothetically, we're just saying, don't want to get in any trouble. And then we look at it being in toothpaste. Now now that I think of it this way and see it, now that kind of makes me, you know, a little like, huh. And the reason why I bring this up is because if we don't know what we're eating, drinking, consuming, bathing in, and then we wonder why sometimes we have these mysterious brain fogs and ailments and whatever else, like, so this is why it intrigued me from the what is going into your body, and because nobody wants to talk about this. Hell, I didn't even know that glitter had such a conspiracy with it. What's going on, Brother Bronze? Good to see you. I know I haven't been on in a while. I'm kind of early, so I know a lot of people ain't going to catch this, but they can watch the watch it later on. Nigel says, this is why red meat carnivores is the safest way to eat today. Yeah, but even that's tainted to some degree if they're not pumping it with certain things. Once again, I have to be careful what I say because, you know, let's see. I hear a horrible theory that they're using the unalive as an ingredient. That is possible. I know that in some places they have approved the liquidation of the unalived to be put back into the water supply or to feed plants and things. I don't know how to feel about that. Sunbeam Good says, I don't use soap or brush my teeth. Hey, as long as you're still healthy, hey, I'm not mad at you. All right, so let me continue. All right. Once again, it's good to see every one of you guys. I'm going to try to do more normal lives, so don't worry. The next live you see will be back to normal stuff, and I'll be asking or answering normal questions. And then, yes, like the one person said, cosmetics and personal care. Okay. Then the last top answer was arts, crafts, fashion, decoration. Well, we know that. So this is what AI could only find on this subject. If you don't believe me, do your own research. But I'm going to try to give you guys some more things. So I said the way it sounded from research is the two biggest would be food-based or military. So here's my thoughts. If the lady in the video stated that, here, let's move it like this. Oh no, it's not a good look here. Like that. No, it's probably better the other way. All right. Let's get back to sharing it. Right here. How about this? Yeah, that's fine. So my thought would be is if she is saying in such a way, oh, they wouldn't want you to know that it's in the product. Well, then it's, in the product. Well, we don't usually use military products, the people, and the military would know what's in it. So it shouldn't be that. So it would either be military based or food based. That's how my thought works, is that it would be one of those two. The biggest things in the world are food or military. So that's what I asked it. So let's get back over there and see let's just see where it took me. So it basically said food-based. It said shiny food coatings. Glitter-like particles are used in cake confections, candies, frostings, beverage powders, and even certain types of processed food for the sparkle effect. I had seen this, but I didn't really process that there's additional chemicals in glitter, and then that is put into certain foods. I guess I just never thought of it like that, which makes my brain light on fire, because I like to look at all the little small anal, legal, whatever things, because that's where the truth lies, right? So then it said edible glitter. So right here, it's telling you that some normal glitter can be in these things. But then also there's a edible type of glitter, so it's a slightly different product. But it has food grade mica. I don't really know if mica is something we should really be eating, but it says it's food grade. Or it contains something called titanium dioxide. Now, when I looked up titanium dioxide, I'm not going to go into it in this video because of how YouTube is and certain industries. And all I will say is do your own research on titanium dioxide and understand that most things can be considered safe for you in small quantities, and they don't get the label of unsafe, we'll just say. It says it blends, mimics glitter, and are legally, well, that doesn't impress me. A lot of things are legal, but that doesn't mean it's great or good for you. Permitted in some jurisdictions for decorative purposes. So this kind of makes me worry right here. Just what we've learned, that it's in our food. And then it goes secrecy factor. If glitter is embedded in a major snack or beverage line, companies would want to protect that proprietary ingredient for branding and trademark reasons. Also, probably for health concerns. This could raise health concern issues. What are we eating and drinking? So it then goes on to answer my second question. What about military? Well, once again, talks about the chaff, camouflage coatings. Okay. Radar countermeasures and the secrecy factor. Okay, that makes sense. So I said, what exactly is glitter? Okay, and then it gave me, it's basically a film, a polyethylene terephthalate plastic. Okay, it has a metallic layer, often vapor deposited aluminum. You can look up what polyethylene is and can do to your body, plastic, and aluminum. Then they also have color layers or pigments and dyes. And as we all know, RFK is trying to get rid of the pigments and dyes in a lot of things that we may or may not be consuming. or our young ones, cough, 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 may be consuming, because I have a child. For those people who don't know, I do have an offspring. Should use the right word. So I do pay attention to what he drinks, and so this is just what I do. It's also used for a protective coating, clear polymer top coat. So there's a polymer. This can be used in such things as gym mats or certain breads. I've even heard of them. I won't mention any company names. But it's prevents the flake degradation. Okay, so now it's starting to make a little bit more sense. Chris says, because there's long and short-term effects. Yes. One of the things I learned from the old Batman movie, the original one with Michael Keaton, is that when the Joker was attacking Gotham, he didn't put how should we say this? We'll call it the unhealthy serum. Okay, we can't call it the POI, So we'll call it, he was putting the unhealthy serum into certain things that people, the normal citizens, the normal nationals out there, were consuming: makeup, foods, and whatever. And it was only the combination. The stuff itself was already bad for you. But then what would get you is the combination of these things. So yes, the long and short-term effects of these things is a problem. It's only safe in America, laughing out loud. No other countries allow the kind. Yeah, there are countries that refuse to accept our, we'll call it frankenfood, because it's not legally considered food. And I'll just say this. Some products we have out there, you may buy, you may even enjoy them on hamburgers. And if you pay attention to the labeling, it actually doesn't say what it is. You're assuming what it is because of what it looks like and how it's wrapped. All right, that's all I will say. Like I said, gotta be careful how we say it. I don't want them knocking on my door saying you did all defamation and this and that. So I'll just say it's orangish in color. All right. Planet Earth's human channel has all the nutrients and facts and abandoned on our. Please see it and thrive as long as possible. We love you, brother. Yeah, appreciate you, Nigel. Hell yeah. Honestly, a lot of things that we use on an everyday basis affect us somehow. Yeah, true. So I'm not condemning. I'm just raising awareness for you guys to do your own research. And once again, this is all me just asking questions in chat GPT. Okay. So optical appearance, manufacturing process, and then it says variations. Cosmetic grade glitter. They deem it as non-toxic, probably in the amounts that you use it. But they also don't mention, here's what they don't tell you. What does the long-term effect of this have on you? Because they look at it as, oh, this is one of the reasons why, and I know some girls don't like it when I say this, but I'll be that guy. Why I say I also do not like makeup, because I know what's in makeup. I worked with a guy who worked in the manufacturing facility, and makeup is really deemed as a once or twice use type of product. It's not meant for daily and continuous use or lifetime usage. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, do what you want to do. It's your body, your life. But okay. So I then asked it, I said, I need you to speculate deep. And when she says they don't want you to know it's glitter, which is what she said, this implies secrecy and that people would be shocked. The general public would be affected. They imply a powerful company or government. It would be something that came out after its creation date. So I'm forcing it to do research out of its own research. I'm saying this, I mean, obviously it had to be created. And she's in the AI is basically saying, you're right. This makes sense. Like they didn't want backlash. You'll never guess. Shock factor. So it then speculates the two top speculative scenarios: food industry, mass ingestion without knowing. Okay. Military, surveillance, covert technology. Well, we're never going to really find a whole lot about this, even though I do know some things about that. So if you guys are reading me already, you can kind of guess that it's not a military thing. So I then asked it, to go into step-by-step elimination. It says, well, the largest companies in the US would be these companies. Now, I'm not saying any of them or all of them or none of them have anything to do, but all I'm going to say is this is what chat came up with. It said this cola company, these candy, chocolate confection, personal care, baby powder, cosmetics, coffee, chocolate, snacks, pet food, condiments, sauces, and packaged foods. It says these are the largest companies. Okay. So it says it said most plausible civilian use cases. It says edible glitter or mica titanium dioxide sparkle powder is used in beverages, candy, baking. So, and personal products, toothpaste, body wash, shampoos, lotion. All right. So you see now where it's through asking it the correct questions is leading. So I said, well, it's probably something that's edible, and which ones have the titanium dioxide? So once again, it named various products. Okay. I'm not saying it is not, it went on the internet and said, by looking at these particular foods, items, candies, personal products have titanium dioxide in it, which is something that they generally make glitter out of. But now that we know the word glitter generally, or can possibly, got to give them some leeway here, mica or titanium, AI said these are the ones that I have found that have titanium in it, or specific dyes, coloring that RFK is trying to get out of certain things in them. So I just found it interesting that if you then ask it, what is titanium and dioxide? And it says it can be used as a color additive. Up to 1% by weight is allowed. Cough, cough. European Food Safety Authority declared it unsafe as a food additive, leading to its ban in 2022. U.S. companies like, and I'm not going to say the name, put it in some of their potential candies, according to AI, educationally speaking. It says it's also been known to cause certain things. I'm not going to say these terms because, YouTube. All right. So don't, and once again, even like it says on the bottom of my screen, Chat GPT can make mistakes. So none of this is to be construed as fact. It's not how I'm presenting it. I'm just showing you what I came across. Okay. So I said, what about specific companies? And it then went on to say, certain makeups, sunscreen. Now this one was shocking to me for the ladies. I didn't know that tampons also possibly may contain that chemical and other chemicals as a whitener. I did not know that. Obviously, that's not something I would normally know, even though I was raised by women most of the time in my life. But yeah, so that in itself could be potentially something you should use in moderation. I'm not going to say not to use it. It's not what I'm here to say. I'm not saying their products are bad, or I'm not even saying they're unsafe. Okay, because the FDA has stated that these things are safe. All of these are safe products by U.S. standard. I'm just bringing this to your attention as I find it interesting in a mystery solving event. Okay, you guys do your own research. All right, you guys are all grown, or you should be. If you're not, you shouldn't be watching this. It says, hey, Wolfie, ain't seen you in a long time. Great content. Rock on. Thank you. I do love the law stuff, but you know how you guys watch TV shows, and sometimes they do like a spoof reel where like it's totally bonkers and they just do something weird. Well, that's what this is. So this is a bonker reel. Okay. For legal purposes, let's call this a bonker reel. Okay. And I'm going to say this may or may not be completely AI generated. We're in fantasy land. Okay. So we're just going to say this is make believe and you should do your own research. And as somebody who does partake in some of these products mentioned here, I happen to enjoy those products. So, but if the internal review of those companies happens to believe that maybe they should reduce, remove, or find an alternative product, then hey, that would be good too. So we're just looking at this as fantasy, education, and you guys do your own research. Okay, I think I've covered all the angles there. We should be good. But if for some reason you guys don't see the video up, at least you 32 people have seen it. Let's keep going. So in some soaps, it says in bar soaps marked in the Philippines under, say, this particular company, some of those ingredients are contained in that product for whitening purposes. Okay, so it's used for whitening. So it basically, so here it says for UV protection, cosmetics. Like I said, I'm not going to mention the names, but if you zoom in and you guys want to see, if you can see, you guys can do your own research. Once again, this is AI bringing it up. I'm just asking questions. All right. I didn't say which specific companies. And keep in mind, they can't even be mad about this because they do have to have it on their packaging. But some companies buy the product that's glitter, and that company then, through plausible deniability, just says, well, it contains glitter. But much like, and some of you guys may not know this, contained within the word fragrance is a secret proprietary blend of additional, educationally speaking, entertainment purposes only, ingredients and chemicals that you don't see because they're not listed in the normal chemical layout. Now, my theory, so this is all theory, if we don't know what those all chemicals are that are in there, including certain dyes, you see red dye number 40, but they're not telling you what makes up red dye number 40. And they're not telling us what's in the word fragrance. We can see the chemicals that have to be listed, but we don't know what that does to you on a short term, medium, or long term to your specific genetic material. And then we don't know what that does or would do to you with a combination of some other product and its known and unknown potential, educationally speaking, chemicals that may or may not be in it. Chris says, imagine that they only tell you things that you need to know and not other things that you really need to know. Yes, imagine that. Crystal says, well, we know that all caps US are sneaky. Yes. Yes. California. Hey, what's going on, brother? Traditionally, titanium oxide is the main ingredient in white paint. So yeah. So once again, we're not saying that all of its uses are bad. And we're not even saying that I have not said or shown that it is a bad thing. The AI said that in Europe, it is not allowed in certain food products. So you guys have to make up your own determination and check your, chemical government websites on specific products and chemicals to see what their recommended safety levels of that exposure is. Because I'm not an expert, so I'm not even going to go there. I just wanted to take you guys down the rabbit hole so you guys can see when you guys don't see me on YouTube, I'm sitting here opening books, going through chat, which makes it a lot easier to get some things done much faster, and how I get to the answers that I'm looking for, that I'm satisfied with. May or may not be the full truth, because once again, it says here at the bottom of the screen, Chat GPT can make mistakes. Check important info. So there's your disclaimer. But it also says that PET, which we've heard about in the news, PVC, most of us should know what that is, polyester films, aluminum, sometimes silver or other metals, pigments for brightness, opacity, sparkle, iron oxides for gold. Okay, so yeah, so these things are in normal things we use every day. And if your particular product does not have an FDA warning on there, then it is generally considered to be safe, especially in small amounts. I just wish that they would tell us what if it's okay in long-term use, but nobody's asked for that. So the short answer is yes, all of these things are safe. I trust the companies with their low standards and high profit desires, and government agencies that back them, specifically in short-term use of these products that were not made for long-term or marketed for long-term use. So there. All right, moving on. So once again, they talk about it talks about specific shampoo. Now, mind you, it's pulling from the internet and these companies' ingredients lists that are online. So this is not me making up stuff, but we're in educational world here. So this is just what the AI can find. I'm doing this as a documentation. Okay. Some of the things it's going back over, so that's why I'm just kind of going through, but it does say inhalation of titanium dust is listed as possibly carcinogenic to humans if and when inhaled, just so you know. Okay, that's what it found. Skin contact does not penetrate the skin. Okay, so that sounds good. These particles in water or soil may affect aquatic life and ecosystems. Okay, so they're saying that it may affect aquatic life. So once again, paint or possibly boat paint. Once again, summary, it says it's not unhealthy in the classical sense, and so it will not unalive you. So everybody should know that. It says long-term concerns, potential DNA, genetic, oxic with a T risk from nano-sized particles and inhalation C-word risk. Legally split, safe in foods in the US, comma, banned in foods in the EU. Widely allowed in cosmetics worldwide. Chris will say, wonder what the etymology of glitter is. Yeah, I don't know. That might be something, I'll do in some, downtime. And if it's fascinating, I'll definitely bring it to you. Michael says the 15103. Yes, that's the IRS form. I made a video on that one, so I would say watch that one if you want answers to it. Or when I'm done, I'll answer some normal questions. Okay, well, it looks like Crystal jumped the gun on me. Excellent, Crystal. Says to shine, Old Norse, Proto-Germanic. I wonder who they are shining. Because to shine somebody also could mean to overwhelm. It could mean to fool. So who knows? Might be onto something there. What was marketed as margarine was formulated as industrial lubricant. Yes, I actually just learned that, California, not that long ago. So yeah, that is. Okay. So long story short, I noticed, and I won't go into the full thing, that on some products, a product called sucralose sucralose, not sucrose. Sucralose is a sugar alternative. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I have since done a research project on it, and I'll be damned if a lot of the information on that has been hidden. But I'll tell you this. The word sucralose contains a number of different chemicals in there, and it was discovered by accident. Originally, it was created to keep bugs off of plants in farm fields. And then it was repurposed for putting in some juices for cost-saving measures and alternatives to people who cannot ingest or should not take sugar. Educationally speaking, do your own research. All right, let's get back to the glitter thing, and then we'll wrap this up, and I'll answer a couple of normal questions, and then I'll let you guys have a great night. All right, so it says international C-word classifications, okay? So here are the EU. I didn't ask it for EU stuff, but it compared EU information with US stuff. So once again, feel free to look at the information and to make your own determination. I'm not here to sway you from use or non-use. This is just basic information. Okay? And then it kind of goes into foods containing this: candies, sweets, chewing gum, cake decorations, frosting, ice cream. That was weird for me. I didn't think that one. Frozen desserts, didn't see that coming. Coffee creamers, that was weird for me. Salad dressings and sauces, that one kind of hurt. I do like my sauces. Processed cheeses, okay, and then possibly things that are lookalikes to cheese is possibly. Vitamins, I do take my vitamins and supplements, so they're saying be careful of those too. Now, from what I've been able to find, they weren't specific, but I guess there's some that are, I call them the ones that smell like tar or oil, because some of them use, not all of them, use an oil base to gum the vitamin materials together and bake them into those little hard tar-smelling biscuits. So do your additional research on them for your own. As always, consult your professional when it comes to your health, doctor, medical, safety, ingestion, etc. That is not me. I am not a trained professional. I'm just a researcher. So it says other considerations: endocrine disruptors, geno. Okay. It says limit your intake. All right. Now, of course, I had to kind of speed through that particular. I did ask it if it was in these other products by other big food companies, and it did say no. So the big golden M, they are good. They're clean. Okay. As far as these particular chemicals, other stuff, those are for other videos. All right. So I didn't want anybody to see that and say, oh, well, he said, nope, nope, nope. I just asked it if they had any of that. It said no. So everything that you're seeing here, these are the companies that did say that from their own by law requirement to mention if they had red 40, yellow 5, blue 1, or any titanium dioxide or mica in it. That's all I asked it. So this is public knowledge. All right, fair use. But yeah, I was kind of weirded out that a lot of these sports drinks had all this in there just to either brighten it or make it a little bit more pretty. Yeah. All right. So pretty much wrapping it up. It did say these are the top ones that use it. Okay. But do your own research. Do not take any of this because, once again, chat can make mistakes. I use a number of these products, and I'm usually a pretty safe person when I ingest things. And I'm going to be honest with you, as much as I hate to say it, I'm probably not going to stop using some of these products, but I probably will be more careful in the amounts that I use some of these products. I will have moderation, which is by the FDA standard wise to use them in short-term usages. But I'll tell you this, one of the biggest ones that surprised me was tampons. I mean, as somebody who was raised mostly by my mom and my sister and various ladies in my family, I'm very familiar with all that stuff. You can't tell me anything about a woman that, I basically don't know. I mean, but let me tell you this. I've seen it all, and I just thought it was just naturally picked white cotton, and they use them for lady stuff. That's all I thought. And then I talked to my girlfriend about it. It's like, oh, yeah, that's why me and my daughters, we use the non-GMO ones. I was like, I didn't even know that was a thing. Probably because I don't go shopping for those. It's been a long time since I was a kid and I had to go to the Walgreens or whatever store to go get feminine products for my mom. It's been 40 years, God rest her soul. And they didn't have those things around then. And I don't think they probably had those chemicals in these products. I remember getting juice when I was a kid. It just said apple juice. That was it. Or whatever type of treat or candy just said this sugar and corn syrup or starch and salt. That was it. All right. So yes, please guys, use the comment section to share information, share YouTube groups and channels, share Facebook channels. If you put your email or contact on there, everybody can see it. I'm not responsible for any of that. But if you guys want to connect as far as state citizens or nationals, you have a group. You guys know to go to my channel to find all of my social media outlets. And also, please, guys, be careful. That is usually not me in a lot of other places pretending to be me. Some people have gotten got. I'm not responsible for that. I do not and will not ever ask you guys for money or personal information or to come see me or to send me money because I need help or any of that stuff. Or even donations. Everything is done through either blacksite32.com or jamesclovett.com. For those who don't know, my seminar private videos for nationals and state citizens only, they are for pay stream, but it's jamesclovett.com. If it doesn't come from one of those two channels or media outlets, it's not me. Okay, so just know that. Chris said maxi pads are probably ruined as well. I don't know, but I will look into it, and I definitely will research with my lady because one of the reasons why we get along is she does this stuff too. I'm probably more advanced with bigger stuff, but when it comes to that, yes, she is a master wizard or whatever on that. She's good. Annabelle, yeah, I'm not mad at you. Right, which is why I'm definitely not saying that we should just not use anything. But it's about awareness. That's all. Just drumming up awareness for you guys to do some deep thought for those who, like me, are researchers and want to just ask the hard questions. What's really going on? We have a right to know. And under the Freedom of Information Act and freedom of speech, that's why we're talking about this now. Okay? So it says, implications of the glitter conspiracy. I didn't even know ChatGPT would bring it up. I just said, what's up with the glitter thing? And it says it's an internet conspiracy. So like any conspiracy relating with government or secrecy or, what's good or bad for us as nationals and Americans, that's why this it somehow came across my desk. That's all I can say. It says, okay, so the secret possibly could be consumers are ingesting this TiO2 daily and there could be hidden things behind it as colorings and coatings. Cumulatively, while individual doses are low, widespread use across billions of units sold creates mass exposure. Regulatory loopholes allowed in the US but banned in the EU. Public unawareness. They do not want you to know. Could these factors align with this technology being used in everyday food and personal items, yet largely invisible? Kind of like, what was it? Lead at one point in time, or certain things and certain other products. So it gave me like a whole hidden glitter conspiracy map. Okay. It broke all that down, and then it started to kind of repeat the same information as above. So all right, so this video, once again, live, was not for everybody, so some of y'all might be disappointed, but I look at it as it was educational to know. What I really also wanted you guys to see is that you can use these tools to dive deep on everyday things, thoughts, conditions. Always go and see an expert for, especially for health. But inquire. And I showed you a line of questioning where the chat at first said, yeah, there's a conspiracy about it. I can't tell you much on it. But with a keen mind, I was able to get it to give me educational potentials, and then find certain things by asking it logical questions, digging deeper. And if you guys don't learn to dig deeper on everything from your private matters, personal matters, public matters, see, this is how I got into this, because when I was younger and I ran with a lot of wealthy people and a lot of private people and a lot of fraternity people and a lot of notorious people, it's just how my life happened. I can't even tell you how it really happened. I just fell in with a lot of people who knew a lot of things and made things happen behind the scenes. And I was already naturally smart. And when they found that out, they wanted to use me for, well, good and bad purposes. And obviously I didn't do the bad purposes, but I just was like, nope, but here, I'll help you out with this. So remember, I'm not saying anything here is bad, but what I want you to take away from this is that ask questions. Now, obviously, none of this can be construed as fact. ChatGPT is not a government agency doing its own specific in-depth analysis, but we brought together some things to ask questions. And once again, FDA, which is what we said, has said none of these things are considered to be unhealthy, especially for short use. It just doesn't say anything about long-term or personalized use. And that's something they don't know, and they've never been asked to put together. So maybe it's time we start asking them to put some things together. Because I just found all this interesting, and I hope you guys did too. So that's it, guys. I just wanted to bring that to you, and I wanted to, jump back on a live. You guys are right. It has been some time, and I've been working on a lot of amazing things, guys. I've been working on the seminar videos on james11.com. Those are doing really well. I've heard 99.99% of positivity from the additional private things that we can't. And I'll tell you one thing about the private videos. There's probably like 12 or 15. I don't even know how many. But it's a lot of it has things you guys have asked me about that I can't talk about on the public side, things that I can only speculate from my own personal experiences. And I put those into the videos. All right. Anna's saying, where is the link for Telegram? All of the information for all of my groups and social media should be here underneath the ticker going by. If not, they're on Black Site 32 on my social media page. One of the groups we did pull down because it got a little too spammy. So, but that one should be on here or on there as well. And you guys can find those. If not, email me, and I can probably get those to you if I see your email and if I'm not overwhelmed with other emails and consultations and whatever else. So now that we've broken camp on this educational, entertainment, informational purpose only video live segment, do your own research. Now, if anybody has any, quick things before I get out of here, I could probably give it like another 30 minutes. You guys can ask questions, and I'll try to field those like we do on our normal videos. So for those people who stayed through all of this, now the floor is open for you guys, and everybody else misses out. So I definitely want to say I appreciate you guys. We got Chris, who just subscribed. Heart, much love, much respect, appreciation. I appreciate anybody who subscribes to any of the things. California, thank you as well. Anna, thank you. Says nobody 25. Yeah, that hurt my feelings with the. Yeah, we're okay. If you believe in esoteric lore and the people who are, some people say, are more foo-foo or more energy sensitive, I do pay attention to that. I study almost everything. There's nothing almost anybody can say that I'm not going to have some understanding or overstanding of, because that's literally all I do in my spare time. You guys think all I do is the law stuff? No, you think I'm good at that? I'm good, but other things, I mean, I do speak 3, 4, 5 other languages, not fluently anymore. I study ancient societies. I study metaphysics. Just everything I can get, I have time for, but I have slowed down because, well, my girlfriend doesn't, she likes that I'm a nerd, but likes me to get out of the books and get out of the house. So, but I do still study everything. And on my other YouTube channel, I think there's only like 500 subscribers on the small one, which is the Badwolf Media channel. And I also have one called Badwolf Unlimited. They're only like 500 and 3,800. Okay. But if you like what I'm showing you guys here, join me on those channels, because I want to talk about everything. I want you guys to be able to interact more. I want you guys to say, hey, have you ever seen a ghost? Or what do you think about politics in the East? What do you think about the Iraqi, dinar? I want to talk about all that stuff. I want to expand from just the legal, that side of it. And it's time. And where I was going with my original statement is that it's time for the awakening. And that's what the energy people are saying, is that right now we're experiencing the awakening where everybody is going to start asking questions and waking up and going, hey, you know what? Let's all petition this company and say, hey, we don't want this in our thing. Some of you guys are going to be people who are going to start those online petitions and say, yeah, and market it. And maybe I'll even put it on my channel and say, hey, somebody started something, saying, hey, this company, we don't want you to do that. Go and cast your vote, and then send that to that company or send it to our politicians. If we want better as Americans, we, the people, y'all didn't forget about this, because I know the agencies and the certain divisions out there who don't like me, I know they would like you guys to forget about it, but we, the people, are the ones who control this nation. They are our trustees. If we don't operate together and put our differences aside and do what's right for you, me, and especially, I mean, I'm pretty old, so it doesn't matter about me, but it's about the next generation and our offspring and future generations. If we don't put our differences aside and stop all this men this, women that, straight this, gay that, blah, blah, blah. I'm against the blue, I'm against the red. It's two heads of the same snake. Hail Hydra. If we don't stand up and start moving things forward, do you think any agency, and they're not all bad, If you think any abuser out there and any threat, foreign or domestic, is going to suddenly have a change of heart and wake up and be nice, you are sorely mistaken. I don't care if you're black, you're white, you're gay, you're straight, you're this, you're that. I have all of that in my family, and I was raised by all of that. I don't see anything but individual. If you're an individual a-hole, then you are. If I dated you and you were a POS, you are that. Not all girls, not all this, not all whatever. But remember this, and like Nobody 25 said, love thy neighbor. We don't have to agree. We can agree to disagree, but let's get along in harmony. Let's change the future from where they want us to go, because where they're driving us, it ain't nowhere fun. It ain't nowhere pretty. And that affects all of us. So once again, I'm not here to lead you guys. I'm just here to make you guys ask questions for those who want to hear. And those who do not, then this was never meant for them. They're not the ones who are going to help change, but you guys will. And don't look at it as, Wolf, it's impossible to move the mountain. If you truly believe the mountain is impossible to move, then it is for you. But if each one of us takes a handful of rock and sand and gravel at the base of that mountain, and we all pick up that handful and put it in another place where we want it, which is out of our way, that mountain will be moved. Indeed, we are one. We are one, especially on the esoteric level. High honors to Big Brother, the Bad Wolf. What's going on, Jackson? We are more than we suppose ourselves to be. This is also true. Right, I agree. Take it back to be honest, humble, and have some respect. Yes. One time says, hey, so what's your take on naturalization for a full citizenship, legal person, for request immigration? I'm kind of confused in this matter. So that's that. There's a lot there. If somebody needs to go through naturalization for full citizenship, I think, what is it, the 600A or the 600N test, something like that, is going to be generally the best way to go about it. These people, they want you to come through the front door, and you're going to have to play ball if you want their benefits and their privileges, which then lead into your rights, freedoms, and liberties. So you almost have to play the part to get what you want. But keep in mind that there are things that you can do. If this is for you or somebody else, I don't know. So it's kind of hard to give you a specific breakdown, because I don't know if this is for you or somebody else or what you're specifically looking for. But I will say on jamesclovett.com, I do have a video on it, or we can do a consultation. But no matter what I give you, it's always going to lead back to, you're going to have to play ball. There is no complete private legal way of getting where I believe you want to go without having them in the picture. And then there are some traps that I do talk about in the video, or we can talk about, that one needs to watch out for. But we have been successful. I probably want to say maybe probably 15 or 20 people. And I would say we've been only about maybe 3 have had some hangups because they didn't give me all of the information, and some things I didn't know about. So we had to do research, and those are ongoing. All right. So to finish up, I just want to tell you guys, positive energy and blessings to everything you good people are working on. Positive health and success. Live long and prosper. And just stay aware of what's going on, and understand that there are layers and levels to everything that you see, and they don't want you to see or know anything beyond what glitters on the surface. I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you for supporting me, guys, and be well up there. Wolf's out. Till next time.